You are watching this video right now. It is not false. But what if it is? What if there are things you thought you knew about the world and they end up being half-truths or completely false reports of the actual events? Expect a bit of that in the next couple of videos. Have humans really made their way to the moon, or is it a ploy to deceive the general public on the possibility of entering into other planets? Check out this view on humans getting on the moon.
Could this be proof we never went to the moon?
Okay, so the United States claims to have sent 24 astronauts to the moon, and that 12 men even walked on the moon. But this man approached majority of those astronauts, and he asked them to swear on the Bible that they actually walked on the moon. And their responses give away everything.
If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Sabro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator at NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight. I don't get people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get
Well, I
take your stuff and get out. Why don't you quote me and say it's...
It is one thing to get your car hijacked from you at gunpoint, but it is a whole different thing when this carjacking is done while you are on a live stream on Facebook.
Being live on the internet can catch some insane things. This man was speaking live when you see someone running in the back. The thief quickly approaches with a gun to the man's head, forcing him out of the car.
I'm so scared because they have a gun. They need to shoot me. They say to get off your car. They take my car.
Then, having stolen his wallet, he jumps into the car and begins driving away. He's clearly paranoid, looking around, driving quickly, not having noticed the phone recording his every movement. Eventually he does, but it's long after his face has been revealed from under his mask, and likely reported or screenshotted dozens of times. They eventually found the car, stripped and abandoned, with no thief in sight. He made off with the tags, the keys, and more.
Have you ever been inside a house that many think is haunted? This clip is an expose on how a TikTok user takes his filming team to not just any random haunted house, but to one of the most frightening haunted houses ever reviewed. This is the Al Qasimi Palace, UAE.
This is a true horrifying story, part 71. In episode 4 and episode 47, I talked about one of the world's most haunted destinations, Al Qasimi Palace. And just yesterday, I visited this palace. My colleagues from NAS News Arabia and I were trying to get a filming permit in this palace for several weeks, and we finally got it. We took our filming equipment and we visited the palace. This palace was abandoned since 1985, and ever since, no one was able to live here because of the recurrent paranormal events that take place inside. At first, when we reached, we were just messing around, thinking that most of the stories were just rumors. After sunset, visitors were not allowed to visit the palace. It was just us. And that's where things started taking a turn. While the guys were taking B-roll footage for the news coverage, I noticed a room. Something in the corner of my eye caught my attention. I felt like someone was sitting down, staring at me. I ignored the uneasy feeling I got, and we head upstairs and continued our work. We went inside a room, not touching anything at all. Carlo, my colleague, pulls a joke and says, "Jinns, you can come out now, don't be shy." And I kid you not, this happens.
Oh shit. Bro, this is not us, bro. Wallah al-azim,
Unfortunately, I didn't get the shot of when it happened. A painting that was hung for more than 30 years falls down, almost injuring Carlo after what he said. We were asked to immediately leave the room and leave the portrait as it is. We went to another bedroom and we noticed a special antique painting. My team set up the equipment and started filming. I was using my phone documenting my filming crew until we experienced this.
I'm gonna take a facial over here. See? I don't know.
The door leads to an empty pantry with no other access. The door was locked, and we were certain that there was no one inside. I kept documenting my filming crew in case it happens again, and as expected, it happens again. About 20 minutes after this incident, Carlo was not feeling good at all. He felt cold, disturbed, and unwelcomed.
Huh? What? I'm not feeling good. You're not feeling good? Yeah. Why?
He was acting very strange. We took all our things and left the palace for good. For paranormal enthusiasts, I'd recommend visiting this palace during the day. Do not go at night. Al-Qasimi Palace is not a joke.
Reddit has some of the weirdest things that you would ever find on the internet, if you are willing to dig deep into the dark part of Reddit. And on that note, here are some unsettling facts about the world that you probably had no idea were actually true.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all of these on Reddit. There's an invasive species of spiders known as parachuting spiders that are expected to end up on the East Coast very soon. These spiders use their webs as parachutes that allows them to literally fly around. But on top of that, these spiders are also very venomous. According to some research, it's been shown that their fangs are too small to pierce human skin, but we aren't entirely sure yet. The stonefish is a fish that is located primarily in Australia and in some parts of the United States. This fish is extremely venomous, but the problem is, in most cases, you won't even be able to tell when you're stung. The pain will take some time to set in, but over time it will increase and increase until it's completely unbearable. And if you don't treat this sting by denaturing it by using excessive heat or with an antivenom, you will experience the worst pain of your life. And the pain from the sting can increase so much, in fact, that there's several cases of people who have been stung by a stonefish requesting to be killed. The Sedlec Ossuary is a church located in the Czech Republic, but this is no normal church. This church is made primarily of human bones. This came about because there was too many people that had died and there wasn't enough space in their cemeteries. So the church leaders decided to harvest the bones of these dead people and ingrain them into the church itself. And the reasoning behind it was saying that them being a part of the church would bring them closer to God. But several people see this as a form of propaganda or a way for them to hide something much darker. And look, I know a lot of these are really hard to hear and I completely understand, but that's why.
Did you know that of all the bears that exist in this world, doing a lot of unusual things, the Siberian bear is the most unusual? They not only eat humans, but have now evolved into digging up the dead bodies of humans from cemeteries. Check out more disturbing facts from this next clip.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all these on Reddit. Number 1 is Siberian bears. Now, we all know bears are extremely ferocious, vicious apex predators of the wild. But Siberian bears are different. Siberian bears have become such great hunters that they have gotten to the point where now they dig up dead bodies to eat them. And it's gotten to the point now that in Siberia, several bears have been spotted in cemeteries digging up bodies for dinner. Number 2, somebody's watching you. Now, we as humans have evolved exponentially since the beginning of time, but we still have several primal instincts and abilities that we've kept, and one of them is our primal gaze detection system. Basically, this is a primal ability that we as humans have had from the beginning of time to be able to tell when someone's staring at you. You know how you get that weird feeling when someone is staring at you and you can feel it? That's the ability. So if you're ever walking around late at night or you're in your room with the window open and you feel like someone's watching you, chances are you're right. Number 3, just a normal walk. Now this one is short, sweet, and right to the point. Over the course of your lifetime, you will walk past 36 murderers. You won't know why or how they did it, and chances are you won't even know who the person is either. But for some reason, just knowing this fact will really make you second guess everyone that you walk by on the street. And finally, the world could end in 8 minutes. Through extensive research, scientists have been able to come down to the fact that it takes about 8 minutes for light to come from the sun over to us on Earth. Which means the sun could have exploded, causing the world to end, and we won't even find out for another 8 minutes. Which in contrast also means that you and I could only have 8 minutes left on this Earth, and you just wasted about 1 minute and 30 seconds watching this video. But hey, if this is the end, I just want you to know that I appreciate you so much for watching. And I know these are kind of dark and kind of make you question life, but that's why.
Did you know that there is something called anesthesia awareness, where you are awake but the doctors have no idea that you are conscious because you find it impossible to move your eyes or to speak? This is one weird fact about our world you definitely wish you never knew. Check out more in this video clip.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 41. There's actually something called anesthesia awareness, and I'm not talking about waking up during surgery. I'm talking about you are awake during surgery, but the surgeons can't tell because you can't move your mouth, and you can't move your eyes. So you know what's going on, but they don't. So in the event that your plane actually crashes into an ocean somewhere, flight attendants are specifically asked not to pull dead bodies onto the lifeboat. So if your child, your spouse, or one of your friends dies, you're just gonna have to, kick the body overboard. So aside from the fact that if you're decapitated, your head can move for a certain amount of time off your body, humans can actually live skinned alive for 6 days. 4 if you want to add salt. If you've somehow gotten that situation. And lastly, there's something called a rat king, and it's not a massive rat. It's just a bunch of rats come together with dirt, blood, hair, tails. Ugh.
Do you know the story of Herbert Baumeister? This is the story of a man who killed a dozen other men in the early part of the 1990s. This is the story of where it all began.
Hey, it's time for another serial killer video, and today we're talking about Herbert Baumeister. It's kind of crazy how much you guys actually like serial killers, but let's get right in the video. So Herbert Baumeister, the supposed serial killer who killed a dozen men in the early 1990s, had a pretty normal childhood growing up. Until he started peeing on the teacher's desk and playing with dead animals. Then that's where it got a little weird. So after these events took place, Herb was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia but was never treated for it. So he moved on to marry a woman, have 3 kids, and become an owner of Save-A-Lot thrift stores. After being seen as a young, polite, and successful businessman in his community, he was actually pretty liked until people found out that he met up with gay men for homosexual liaisons, and he burned their remains after strangling them to death. Not such a nice guy anymore, is he? Do you know what the craziest part is? He actually took dead people's bodies and mannequins, put them around his pool, and made it look like they were having a pool party. What fun!
Which of these newfound knowledge do you wish you didn't come across?